Ani. We'll be looking at verbs and personal pronouns so that we can have an understanding of where we are in this course and where we'll be heading in Anishinaabemowin language learning. Know that these terms are only to help explain what we're doing and that you would not be tested on these grammar terms. A verb is a word or a phrase that describes an action, such as running, sleeping, or laughing. Or a verb describes a state of being, tired, sad, happy. Or a verb describes an occurrence, raining, breaking. In Anishinaabemowin, there are 4 main verb types. We're going to review these and look at the one that we will specifically be learning in this course. Here you see a small chart of the 4 verb types of Anishinaabemowin. VAI, verb animate intransitive. This has a blue arrow pointing to it, as this is the verb type that we're learning in this course. There is also the VII, verb inanimate intransitive, VTA, verb transitive animate, and VTI, verb transitive inanimate. It's not necessary that we understand and know all of these terms, but let's take a look just to get a basic understanding. Here you see a visual representation of the 4 verb types. In this, we will be looking at 2 verbs, cooking and cleaning, and how each verb acts depending on which category it falls into. Starting on the right in the middle, you see the capital letters VAI. VAI is verb animate intransitive. The V just means that it's a verb. The A is that it's an animate subject. The subject is the actor in the sentence or the one who the sentence is about. The I is for intransitive. Intransitive means that the verb does not take on an object. There is no object. In other words, there is no receiver of the action. Jibakwe. He is cooking. He is the subject, and the verb is cooking. Jibakwe. The next example, binchige. She is cleaning. She is the subject. In the next section, we look at VII, a verb. It's an inanimate subject. That means the subject or the thing doing the action is not alive. And it's an intransitive verb as well as the one we just looked at. So it takes on no object. There is no receiver of the action in a VII. Examples, menode wias. The meat is cooking. The meat is the subject. Menode wias. And the second example, binte. It is clean. It is the subject of the sentence. Binte. In the next section of VTA, V being the verb, T now stands for transitive, and A now stands for an animate object. So we say, Mzise ndomanazwa. I am cooking a turkey. I am the subject, and the turkey is the object or receiver of the action. The next example, daban nadobina. I am cleaning the car. I am the subject, and the car is the object. A car is animate, so it falls under the animate object category. And in this case, we can name what it is that is being cleaned. The last section is the VTI, verb, transitive, inanimate. The T again stands for transitive, and the I stands for an inanimate object. So now we have menomen ndomanazan. I am cooking rice. I is still the subject, and rice is the object. Here, rice is not like the turkey. Rice is an inanimate object, and so we talk about it in different terms. Menomen ndomanazan. The next example, shkwandam nadobinton. I am cleaning the door. I is the subject, and door is the object. It names what I'm cleaning. I am cleaning the door. Door is the receiver of the action, cleaning. From these 4 types, you see that there are differences in the way that we would talk about cooking or cleaning. It would depend if we have an object, transitive, or no object, intransitive. And it would depend if the subject or the actor is animate or inanimate. In this course, we will be working with the first section, VAI, as you see the blue arrow pointing to. Moving on to personal pronouns. A personal pronoun in English replaces a noun, and personal pronouns in English include I, me, myself, we, us, you, you all, she, he, and they. Examples: John went to the store. John bought a plant. We could say instead, using the personal pronoun, John went to the store. He bought a plant. We use the personal pronoun he to take the place of John. The next example, John and Mary like plants. John and Mary have a garden. Rather, we could say John and Mary like plants. They have a garden. We use the personal pronoun they to take the place of the noun phrase John and Mary. In Anishinaabemowin, the personal pronoun is included right into the verb itself. Prefixes and suffixes, the small parts that are added at the beginning and ending of verbs, are added to the verb to indicate who is doing the action. Let's look at the personal pronouns in Anishinaabemowin. This sheet shows you the personal pronouns that are used in Anishinaabemowin. There are 7 personal pronouns. On the left-hand side, you see a grid, and on the right-hand side, you see a visual representation of the same information. So let's read through the grid. The grid has 3 lines highlighted in blue. These are the 3 personal pronouns that we will be learning to use in this course. The other 4 we will not learn until future language courses. Neen is I or me, first person. Neen we, us or we, exclusive. Exclusive means that it doesn't include the person that you're talking to. So if I were talking to you about my husband and I planning to go out to dinner after work, I would say we. We are going to Applebee's. When I say we, I mean my husband and I, not you. So it excludes you. It excludes the person spoken to. That would be first person plural, exclusive. Ginwe. Ginwe is also us or we, but it's inclusive. Inclusive means that includes the person that you're talking to. So now a new example would be if my husband and my friend whom I'm talking to right now, we're all going to go to the movie after work, and I would say, I'm glad that we are going to the movie after work. When I say we, I am including her also. That is first person plural, inclusive. The next personal pronoun is gin, you. Gin is considered second person. Followed by ginwa, you plural. I put use. I often use the term use, Y-O-U-S, to mean you plural, because there isn't a personal pronoun in English that accurately describes ginwa, you plural. We sometimes say that ginwa means you all, but in some cases it does not necessarily mean you all. Ginwa is second person plural. The next blue section is ween. Ween is she or he, and it's considered third person. And the last personal pronoun term is weenwa. Weenwa is third person plural, they. You can think of it as he or she plural. So more than one person, they. Remember that we are not expected to know all 7 personal pronouns for this course. We are focused on learning just the singular pronouns, highlighted in blue, neen, geen, and ween. Now let's focus in and look at just these terms. Here we are with visual representations of the personal pronouns that are considered singular, only one person that we're talking about. The first one is neen, I. You see the small color legend? Here we use the same colors as before. The person in green is speaking to the person in red about the person circled in yellow. So in the first graphic, neen, that is me in green, I'm talking to you in red. And I'm talking about myself, circled in yellow, neen. In the second scenario, the person in green, me, is talking to you, the person in red, about the person circled in yellow, who is you. So when we say geen, it's me talking to you about you. And in the last scenario, the person in green, me, is speaking to the person in red, you, about a different person, a third person who is not part of the conversation. That would be ween. I am talking to you about her or him. The third person is ween. I hope that this brief lesson on verbs and personal pronouns will help you as you move forward as a language learner. Miigwech.